All right, guys, welcome back to Above Ground World News. Hey, the notifications got out. I had it set wrong. I had it set for like 11:30 at night. I'll be passed out by then, but we are live a little early tonight. It's like every night, the news just gets worse and worse, and we're facing a disaster that, the mainstream don't warn us about. They don't tell us, what we can do to fight it. It's not global warming. It's not the fake climate, climate chaos. There is a crisis going on, but it's something that they're not talking about. And before we get into all that stuff, we're just going to hit a couple headlines. Now, I'm always talking about the Sahara dust that is always this whole year has been blown over into the Gulf of Mexico. Like right now, they're blocking it, which is good. So somehow they're dissipating the dust out here into the Atlantic. But I come across this article. A deadly fungal infection that spreads through dust is on the rise in the southwestern U.S. Scientists warn the North may be next. So this is a life-threatening, in severe cases, has been on the rise in southwestern United States. They're saying hot, dry conditions in Arizona and California are ideal for spreading the disease. It thrives in dusty soil, and its spore can be carried up to 75 miles by the wind. Scientists have projected that the valley fever cause could increase by up to 50% by the end of the century. And of course, they're going to blame it on the climate change and not the climate control. But this isn't even the bad news. This is just the beginning. Also, we have nanotechnology that's been found in a bunch of popular foods despite repeated denials by the regulators. So, popular lollies, sauces, dressings have been found to contain nanotechnology that the National Food Regulation has long denied being widely used in Australia's food supply. For many years, the food standards, Australia and New Zealand, has claimed there is little evidence of nanotechnology in food because no company has applied for its approval. So, it must not exist if nobody applies for it, and therefore is not tested nor regulated for the use of nanoparticles. Now, we know this is in everything. This is in the aerosols that are being deployed. It's in the bunker fuels. It's in the food packaging. So the Friends of the Earth Commission tests found that potentially harmful nanoparticles of titanium dioxide, silica in 14 popular products, including Mars M&Ms, Woolworth's white sauce, and Praise salad dressing. All the samples that they've took has found these nanoparticles. There's a lot of people out doing research right now on all these nanoparticles, the Morgellons, and all this stuff. Now, this just come in my email just like 3 minutes ago. Now, workers at the Hanford nuclear site dies. This is the second death this week. This was sent to me by Melody. Her ex-husband works at the Hanford site, and I guess one of the women did not show up for lunch, so they went to her trailer and found her dead at her desk. Another person was taken to the hospital today from the same trailer they work in. So anyway, hey, thanks for getting this to us. And wow, I got tons of news like this going on. Now, they're trying to make this a tourist destination. Now, I remember reporting on this a year or two ago where they were going to make this a tourist destination. That's what they wanted to do, have you come out and check it out. Hey, thanks out there, Ira. So something is going on at the Hanford nuclear facility. People are dropping like flies out there. But it's only going to get worse. Wednesday Hump News. Seems like this is one of the worst news nights of the week. So, while we're all, freaking out on all this stuff that we're faced with, the search for secrets of the human brain. So there's a large-scale national research project hope to reveal how the brain learns and how it controls behavior and how it goes wrong. How about checking out the scientists? Hey, thanks there, Unicorn. Thanks for the support. So since 1982, they've been working on these, trying to figure out how the brain works. I mean, this is $1 billion, they spend billions. And the reason why they're doing this is so that they can, when they bust out this 5G, they want to be able to control the way the people think. They want you to be like the machine. They want to, change your thought system so you have no, way to control stuff. So that's definitely been going on for a long time. Let me play a little bit of this clip.
Authorities in Japan are set to release water from the Fukushima nuclear power plant into the sea, despite reports that the water is still highly radioactive after many attempts to decontaminate it. Our Lee Seung-jae tells us more.
Despite reports, treated water at the Fukushima nuclear plant needed to be decontaminated even more before it can be released into the sea.
Now, how can you decontaminate radioactive material? You can't. That's why they have to bury this, and they bury it in like some of the worst spots on the planet. Here, we'll play a little more.
The Japan government has decided to release it anyway. The Japan-based newspaper Mainichi Shimbun reports that Japan's Nuclear Regulation Authority chief told reporters recently that the authority plans to release the water once the radiation levels are lower. However, he added the authority doesn't think more distillation or dilution will help, nor does he think it's necessary. Almost 85%.
And who is this guy that doesn't think it's necessary? We've already have been seeing the damages from this Fukushima accident. And, why these isotopes from the disaster are going to be raining down for hundreds of years. It's just going to get worse. Now, this is way worse than anything that we actually report on. This is probably worse than the chemtrails. This is worse than anything. This is killing the ocean. This is going to affect everything, everybody, and it is now. We wonder why the cancer rates have gone up, not only, from the GMO foods and the bombardment of the radiation and the Bluetooth. But check out this drone footage. I reported yesterday, I think it was, where the typhoon that come through there, they lost like 26 or 2,000 trash bags full of this radioactive waste. But here's some drone footage of before the typhoon. These are all trash bags. What we're looking at is all trash bags of nuclear waste that was washed out from the typhoon. I mean, look at all this stuff. So, all across the United States, we've had nuclear facilities leaking. Where's the outrage about this? We got a country that's just going to, most of the stuff's already in the ocean right now, floating around. But look at these. These are just trash bags. How do you contain radioactive materials in a trash bag? Like, this is the worst disaster going on that we face as humans right now. And what are the scientists doing? What is anybody doing about this? So they're just going to dump all this stuff. Probably all these are probably in the ocean already from the typhoon. But it's just unbelievable. I mean, look at that. There's the ocean right there. It's just right there by it. This got hit with 50-foot waves that washed this stuff out to sea. And then they still have to dump radioactive material into the ocean. You know, here's what they're saying here. This is the article we went over from the Taiwan News. 2,667 radioactive bags from the Fukushima disaster unleashed by typhoon. Well, I can guarantee you that number is much, much, much higher. We just showed you the drone footage. And so, wow, man. And you know, they're saying they're going to have to dump this in the ocean. Well, guess what? Japan's also getting ready to be flooded again. So they've already been flooded. Now they're getting flooded again. So whatever bags are left around there, they're probably going to end up out in the ocean too. So 77 people have been killed by the typhoon, 200 injured, and 100,000 homes still do not have water. I mean, what kind of water do these people have anyway? You've seen these people walking around with the mask, you know, just because the air, China, India, you know, all these Asian countries are already being just have to be sick all the time from this stuff. We've also had a 6.4 magnitude that hit the Philippines. Now, I'm not sure how much, you know, what kind of damage we're looking at here. I didn't get a chance to look at that one. I'm going to paste all these links in the description here in just a minute. I forgot to do it last night. And then we have, you know, the meteorologists here. You know, they title their stuff. You know, we try to title our stuff and then we talk about what we title. It's not fear porn. It's just what's happening. So the way they title their story here, meteorological bomb to lash the Northeast U.S. So today is the 16th. They're putting this out on the 16th. So, you know, 24 hours from now, it's going to have a barometric pressure drop that's going to classify it as the bomb cyclone, the bombogenesis. Well, everybody on this channel knew this was coming 2 weeks ago. So how come the mainstream, you know, the so-called professionals, how come they didn't let people prepare for this weeks ago like we did? You know, this tells you right here, they don't care about us. They don't care about nothing but a paycheck. They just don't care. They have to lie and make up all these new terms for what we know is weather control. They're controlling the weather. They have been. They've been trying to control it since the 1800s. And they pretty much took full control of it early in the 1900s. You know, we got more of this BS coming out. Massive migration of butterflies, dragonflies show up on the weather radar. So you're telling me, you know, a 300-mile stretch of butterflies is creating this pulse wave of frequencies? I beg to differ. There's no way that many butterflies makes it look like it's raining. That's just the microwave frequencies coming off the new NextRad, the new omnidirectional phased array NextRads. They're just like mini harps. More lies. So a while back we reported on these rainbow, they called them contrails. Hey, thanks out there, wake up. So they called these things contrails, and they're all so pretty, and they're blah blah blah. Let me take you back in history. Back when they used the ancient orange back in the Korean War, that wasn't the only deadly chemical that they used in this war. So while Ancient Orange may be the most well-known chemical used during the Vietnam War, it wasn't the only one. An entire rainbow of new chemical formulations rained down on Vietnam's forests and fields. The rainbow herbicide, as they were known, were only used as weapons in the war for a little over a decade, but their consequences can still be felt today. The chemicals were deployed as part of Operation Ranch Hand, a military operation that lasts from 1962 to 1971. The unofficial motto was, "Only you can prevent for a forest." Hold on, I gotta get a drink. So they wiped off the Smokey Bear's plea for people to prevent forest fires. Why the sarcasm of the phrase sums up the irony of the mission. Controversial then and now, it's still not clear whether Operation Ranch Hand, a form of chemical warfare, was ever permitted under international law. Herbicidal warfare has been a military dream since the 1940s, when the Allied researchers began to brainstorm ways to use chemicals to scorch the earth. However, early plans to use the chemicals, for example, starved the Japanese by ruining their crops and falter. You know, we're seeing that today. You know, they just sprayed Minnesota at night for mosquitoes. You know, why? It's freezing up there. There's no mosquitoes up there. They're getting ready to do it down in Florida. They're already doing it. You know, this is actually coming out of the History Channel here. So in 1950s, Britain became involved in the Malayan emergency attempt to save the communist insurgents. British troops sprayed the lush forest with a substance similar to what became Agent Orange. The insurgents did fail, but the chemical spray had other lasting effects: severe soil erosion and lifelong health problems for the Malayans. See, the U.S. government and all these governments have been doing, whoa, look at that. A body with two heads, poor baby. So, oh man, I didn't even see these pictures. I didn't scroll down that far. So, you know, we talk about how we can't trust the governments. Here's just more proof. I mean, this is just one of so many experiments they've done on us. You know, they've done the lithium test over Oregon. They did the radiation test over the people in St. Louis. I mean, and Texas. They were spraying radioactive isotopes out of the backs of station wagons, off the corners of buildings. And then they just watched the people die. And then when the people died, they cut them up and seen what the radiation did to their organs. That's how psychopath these governments are. Plus all the, you know, the other ones that we went over a couple weeks ago, the ones there off the coast of California. Also, like the bugs, like the ticks and stuff. And just tons. We're just like a big lab experiment to all these psychopaths. So here's another one, tracking the tropical wave to enter the Gulf of Mexico this weekend. We'll see how this pans out. I haven't looked at the maps for today. And then this article come out, you know, on 9/11/2019. I just thought this was you know, some programming here. Bomb trains are a safety risk to U.S. cities like St. Louis. So I just talked about how they tested the radiation on the people of St. Louis. But whenever, you know, September 11th, that's a big date right there. And then, you know, they're using bombs as weapons, train bombs. So this could be, you know, like an upcoming false flag, because that's what they're doing. They're trying to program you to think about this. All right. Oh, here, I want to do a shout out over here. Here is Stranger Than Fiction's new channel, man. They keep taking him down, and he's one of the, he makes some of the best videos, eye-opening videos, I think, on YouTube. But they just keep wiping him out. This is Stranger Than Fiction News, good friend Ron. And I'm going to post all these links down in the description. Yeah, check out this video. I haven't even got to watch this one yet. Here, let's play a little link. little piece of it.
Workers say they're getting injured working on those antennas, and the constant push for more towers is putting them at risk.
Team 10 troubleshooter Kristen Severin joins us. And Kristen, you talked to a San Diego company with a solution to keeping them safe.
Yeah, there are 600,000 cell phone tower sites in the United States. They're everywhere, on the sides of buildings, street lights, water tanks. But Team 10 learned thousands of those towers violate federal rules that are supposed to keep workers safe.
It hurts like how.
Benjamin Rivas has worked on cell phone towers for 14 years.
I was dealing with them day in and day out.
He quit after an antenna that should have been powered down was still live.
Physically burned my hand.
The burn is a work injury you can see.
You get burned on the outside, but internally it blisters.
Other problems he
Yeah, well, just make sure to go show Ron some love, man. Where's he at right now? He's got 240 views. Premiered 2 hours ago. He should have millions of views. So I got that link posted in there. In fact, let me go ahead and put all the links for everything that I went over tonight into the description right now, so I don't forget, because I do that a lot. All right, copy. Just bear with me here. Let me go down to the show links. I got them way too far down now. I don't know how they got so far down. Let me erase the ones I got on there. Just bear with me here, people. Yeah, Ron had a huge part of my awakening. And then he was also one of the first YouTubers ever to actually contact me and talk to me and help me out. So it's time for a little payback. We'll help him out, get some people over there and check him out here. And we'll get him on the show sometime. I haven't got to talk to him in a few months, so he's in a different time frame than us, so it's kind of hard for us to get together anymore. Hey, thanks out there, Elijah, Ray. All right, so let's go ahead and get out of that. So here's a something that happened down in Australia. They're calling for a roadside memorial to be erected in tribute of chickens burned alive in a truck fire. So that's kind of cool. We love our chickens. To us, they're just like the family dogs. You know, they're like your little kids. So anyway, there was a fire down here in a truck that burned a bunch of the chickens. But the only thing I don't like about this story is they want to put the tribe vegan on here, because this, you know, what this boils down to is the war on meat and all that stuff. All right, SpaceX submits paperwork for another 30,000 Starlink satellites. You know, every time they send these satellites up, it, you know, pretty much puts a hole in the ozone layer. Now, they had a accident a few years back where it blew like an 8-mile hole into the ozone. It did repair itself, but it took a while. So SpaceX is planning the world's largest low orbit broadband constellation. Now they've already sent up, I think, about 1,500 satellites, but now they want to put another 30,000 in there. 30,000. You know, now I like to film. I got an observatory on the top of my house. I like to film the stars and look at all that stuff. And they're basically going to be blocking the view of the sky. You know, if you're trying to do long exposure pictures out there, you're going to have crap flying through there and artifacts on there that shouldn't be on there. They're blocking the sky. You know, they're blocking the sky with the chemtrails. They're blocking the sky with all this space junk and the bunker fuel, what have you, everything. Hey, thanks, sir. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the mass for a little bit here. Nice crowd out there. I know we've been having a battle with the thumbs up being took down during the live streams, but everybody's been kicking butt, getting them back going. Now, one thing I want to look at, let's go back to where we can see that typhoon that hit Japan. Alright, so there's the typhoon. Now what I wanted to look at here is, where does this thing end up? Because you know all the radioactive trash bags are out here. But what else is in here is, with all these waves and the water and the winds and the ocean spray, you gotta guarantee this is a radioactive storm going across. And look, this is where the 50-foot waves were. It's up, got up here into the Bering Sea, and it kind of split off into two sections. But then look, it gets pushed back down. Oh, hey, Ron. Oh, I just got a message from Ron. Wonder if he's up. If he's up, I'll bring him on the show. It might have been an old message too. Oh yeah, that was like at 5:30. Okay. He's on do not disturb. All right, yeah, I would have brought him right in the show if he was out there. All right, so let's go up to today. So look at this thing, how that just got blew sideways. So I mean, I don't know where all this, these isotopes are going. Could be going up in Canada, could be going on the west coast. The maps are not loaded very good right now, but just looking here right off the bat, I see a spraying operation way down here, all around Southern California and the Bajas area. Let's see if I can change the layer yet. Wow, starting early really messes this up. Oh, it's here. Alright, so yeah, we need to document this. We know California needs some rain, but they're probably going to block it out. Why is that the only censored box right here? Why is that censored out? That is weird, man. So they're blocking that. Let's see if we got another layer. Okay, we got this layer. Yeah, I'd like to look at the different times they take the pictures, and you can see, pretty close when they tried to start the spraying operation and as it drifts out. So it's really heavy operation down here. So they were definitely doing some dumps. You can see the synthetic colors. And the operation spans all the way out over here into Arizona. These are not fire lines. These are aerosols that are being deployed. They want to say contrails or, formated or formation. It has to be like 50 degrees, minus 50 degrees Celsius, and humidity. There's no humidity down here at all. It's been dry for months and months. Look at all the fires over here in Arizona. Hey, thanks out there, Bamboo. So it looks like we just have like a fire breakout right in the chemtrail zone right here in Arizona. I can't believe that won't load right there. What the heck? That's probably the one picture they don't want us to see. So I'll just leave it on this one because we can still see the aerosols that are being deployed. And we got some really weird, look, more spraying over the Yosemite National Park. Actually, it looks like all of California is getting hit with aerosols and getting hit with some microwaves. We see the frequency clouds. So it looks like it's still fire season out here. I haven't checked for the bunker fuel. I mean, there's some really thick sprayers out here. We'll have to throw on the bunker fuel layer here. Let's see if we can get anything to pull up on here. And I don't know what to do about, Fukushima radiation. I don't know how we battle that, other maybe some iodine or something like that. So we need some kind of researchers out there to find out, how do we battle these isotopes? What's the best way to try to counteract that stuff? Or even if you can, who knows? spraying all over Northern California. So, California has been pretty, light spraying operations most of the year. So maybe they're setting you guys up for a little bit of rain. And the other scenario would be they're overseeding the sky to get it not to rain. You can just send me anything you want to the agwnnews@gmail.com. I know I'm a little bit behind on the emails getting that PDF out to people, but I will try to get caught up on that. Let me just kind of go up. I didn't really get this all loaded because it wasn't really loaded. So they're still dumping aerosols up here all over Alaska, up into the Bering Sea, and all out off the coast. Yeah, they're already, starting to form into clouds, cirrus clouds, the fake man-made clouds. And then we have spraying operations over Washington, over Oregon, through Idaho, up into Montana. Mike Decker sent us that footage from yesterday. All right, so just kind of going down through here. We have spraying operations over Nebraska, over Kansas, brand new spraying operation. That's pretty funny. Wake up. Agree totally. The way I look at the Earth's not round and it's not flat. It changes shape all the time. People, I guess people don't realize that. We got a new big spraying operation over the Gulf of Mexico. Yeah, I don't know if you can eat anything out of the Pacific anymore. I mean, it's, that's been leaking out there for so long, and then right down straight across from Guam, you got the Atoll Islands. That's where all the nuclear tests have been done. They just pick an island and bomb it with the nuclear weapons. I mean, there was thousands of nuclear detonations over there. Then, right in, I think it's New Mexico, might be, somewhere around here, they got the, where they did a bunch of nuclear tests. Even France and everybody nuclear tested right on American soil. Nuketown. So there definitely looks like they're getting ready to set up a storm down here in the Gulf of Mexico. We had them weird fire anomalies down there. And I can't tell if they're still going today. And I think them were volcanic stuff. I just didn't get time to go back in and look at all that. Spraying operation over Arkansas that goes all the way across into Mississippi. Alabama's getting waxed right now. Mississippi wax. Texas, you're getting man-made clouds. Florida's got a mess going on out here off the coast. And then way up in Maine, Maine's getting hammered. Radical Ralph's probably got some footage from up here. I mean, they're getting waxed up here. Let's see if this got... Wow, look how fast they messed this guy up. Let's see what the other layer looks like. So, these are all really drifting clouds. Like, you can see the X's. The X's are in there, but this stuff is just super drifting. Look, another X. So they were dropping the X's, and then the winds got a hold of this and just span these trails out like fast. Like they turn the blue sky white within probably minutes. Look at that, just wham. Now you got toxic soup up here. Super crazy spraying operation. Look, it goes all the way through the Gulf of St. Lawrence. I can't believe that's all the farther the map is loaded. Yeah, so yeah, we're going to have to find out a way to try to battle all the crap that's going on. It's not the climate change. That's normal. But it's this kind of stuff. It's the weather warfare. It's, you know, weather testing that's going on. UK's just been getting blasted day after day. I don't even know if they've seen the sun in weeks. They're still spraying out in the North Sea. France has a spraying operation still. Not coming in real clear, but yeah, you can definitely see them out there. And then Spain has a big new spraying operation. It goes all the way through Portugal. And then out here off the coast, look, we got big X's. Look at that tic-tac-toe in the sky. Drifting out. Hey, isn't this right where they're trying to create the, no, right down here is where they're trying to create the typhoon or hurricane. So yeah, they're definitely setting for Spain up for rain, and then all the way up into France. And then down here we have this engineered system that is even freaking out the meteorologists. And we got this system down here in Mexico. Let me just kind of look down here in South America. I know I jump around. I never know where I'm going, so I just start going here. Yeah, they definitely worship the dark side. That's what it is. That's why they're trying to, you know, figure out the brains and figure out get the AI going, because they want to be transhumans. They want to implant their brains into the robots so they can live forever, like in, you know, way back when people lived thousands of years, hundreds of years. So we got a brand new big spraying operation. Yeah, here's the other crazy weather modification guys. The United Arab Emirates. Look at these. These are not natural clouds. What is this? This is some kind of electromagnetic weather control right here. Wow, look at that. Let me click the layer. Look at that. They're hitting it. And it's just showing the signals. Look at that. Look, it grew out of nothing. So they're using their ionizers out here. That is definitely 100% weather control. That's not like that would have to be a new classification of clouds. That is crazy right there. Got a few aerosols in here, but what I was going to show you before I seen that wicked feature is there's a spraying operation all the way down here in Nigeria. It goes up through Chad, through Sudan, through Egypt, and then right over the Red Sea. I mean, we have aerosols, thick aerosols, going right over the desert, up into Syria, Iraq. We had chemtrails over Lebanon 2 days ago, and then fires started everywhere. Saudi Arabia's, they're definitely in the weather modification business. We can see the aerosols all being deployed. The wispy looking cirrus type clouds, that's the man-made cloud. Look, I just seen you can see the chemtrail right here in X. So wow, this right here is definitely, that's a new one. That's a new one. That definitely has to do with the ionospheric heating and the electromagnetics. I wish I could I don't know if I can get to any radar on that to see how it formed. I mean, that's insane right there. And we know the global trading companies right here, they're a big time weather modification company. We have to keep our eyes on that and see what forms out of that. Look at these big sprayers over at Kazakhstan. Big death dumps going on out here. We've had the big spraying operations over Russia. We got them over Mongolia now. Up, they're creating another system right out here in the Philippine Sea. That's headed probably up towards Japan. We're going to have to go look. You know, down here in Australia, they get the same weather modification. Look, we have X's, aerosols being deployed. We get bunker fuel, spraying operations all over southern Australia. Fires are going all over out here. New Zealand gets waxed all the time. They get hit heavy this whole week. All right, let's go look. We'll check this first. So while they took off the cyclone development, then we got this 96L, 99E, tropical depression 21. Let me just check the mimic. I'm not even going to look at them yet. We'll give them a day. Yeah, did I miss Florida? Did I talk about Florida? I didn't even look, really. I know they got sprayed down here in the Gulf of Mexico. Oh, yeah, right there. So it's spreading. We'll see all that in the GOES 16, GOES 17. So I really want to watch down here in Southern California where they got the aerosols. See, they have the high pressure blocked here. This atmospheric river should be able to go right into Southern California, but they're not letting it. They're pushing it out with the next threads. And not seeing too much more too funky stuff here. All right. And then let's go ahead. I'm going to try to get both these up. Try to get through the Earth null pretty quick here. Look, the polar vortex in Antarctica is getting shredded apart while it's growing up here in the Arctic. Look, the winds have died down a little bit right here where the dust storms were. I just want to look at the jet stream real quick. Alright, so check this out. So you have chemtrails right here. You have a ridge or a trough right here that should be bringing the moisture in here from the Gulf of Mexico. You got the flow of the atmospheric river is going this way. It should get caught up into here. Like California should be getting probably flooding rains right now. Let's drop it down. They're probably using the, you know, the anti-rain. Yeah, so the wind streams are just freaking out here. Let me check the 3-hour precipitation forecast. Look at that. Nothing for California. Look at the East Coast. You guys are getting ready to get hit with big time rain and wind. And we warned you guys about this a couple weeks ago. We warned you about it last Sunday. Here's that storm. It was part of the weather plan. The weather plan never changes regardless of what the meteorologists say. They have a plan that they stick to, you know, regardless of how the mainstream spins it. Make sure I'm on now. Alright, just want to check the ocean waves. Look, we got these pretty good waves coming in here. 32-foot waves. Waves over here for Ireland. Big wave field south of Australia. I'm really trying to keep track of these ocean temperatures. Look how it's cooling. There is not one bit of purple. Maybe a little bit around, you know, Cuba or whatever that is right there. A little bit on the shore down here. But man, the ocean's actually really cooling. Except for up here. That's where that weird anomaly is. And that's where the aerosols are being deployed. I don't know if that factors in the heat. But this is definitely shrinking. Let's check the anomalies. That is picked up. So that's, you know, this is picking up some of the heat from the radiation trash bags out here. That is picking up. And let's check the carbon monoxide. So the whole East Coast still has bad air. It looks like it's starting to clear up a little bit up there in British Columbia. The East Coast is looking much better than it has been. You can see all the little spot fires there in Arizona, and then going up to Washington, Oregon, up into BC there. Yeah, look at the toxic air there. Carbon dioxide is really thick down in Southern California, and then up where the fires are, still in the East Coast. Ship tracks are just as bad as ever. And here's the dust. See, the dust is looking way less than it has been. Hey, thanks out there, Bill. And if I missed anybody, much love out there. Hard to look at all this and look over there. So look, here comes our PM10s off the radioactive storm. And look at how bad the air is here in California. It almost looks as bad as the volcano down here, maybe worse. Where the fires are, you got tons of PM10s. The nor'easter is going to be hitting. It's locked and loaded with the particulates. Let's go down to 2.5s. Definitely shows where the fires are. And then the worst of all of them, the PM1s. These are the really bad, the super small nano particulates. That's weird, that straight line right there. Alright, we're probably good with that. Let's just check this. Alright, let's put this on 200 frames. Let's get a good look at the IR here. See if we can get it to play. Look at that straight line, you know. How many hundreds of miles is that? What did I just see over there? What was that? Oh, wow. What is that? Look at that. What is that? Did we have a meteor come across? Look at that big old white line right there. What is that? That is pretty strange. I don't think I've seen that. So look, they're getting ready to start spitting that thing up. You can see all the chemtrails in there. Let's see if that comes out like on the visible red. Power went out up in Manitoba, up in here, from all the blizzards. And oh, it come through as a black line. So on this map, boy, that was really hard to see. So on the one map, it come through as a white line. On this map, it's coming through. So something passed through the satellite. Let's try the cirrus layer, see what happens. Let's put on a little enhancement here. Wow, look at that spraying operation over Arizona. California. We'll zoom into some of these just to show the extent of the aerosol operations. They're everywhere. Big one in Utah going into Colorado. And then I was looking down at Florida here. Yeah, you can see that one to the north. Yep, right there in the north part. Spraying out here in the Atlantic. So this looks like a pretty good spray operation here. Yeah, you got the grand solar minimum in there too, making the sun a little hotter, making it feel hotter. You know, I believe they're, you know, since they're saying global warming, that means it's going to get cold. With all the aerosols, with all the volcanic activity this year, with all the dust this year, I mean, we're in for a very cold, wicked winter. And if it's not this year, by the time next year comes around, it's still going to be up there. That stuff just don't come down. It stays up for years. So we can see, yeah, these were already starting to drift out, and then they just kept, look at that, man. That's targeted aerosols following, you know, the pressure system. Just one after another after another. Let's just kind of look up at Northern California. We'll go down and look at Florida too. Yeah, some of this stuff is coming out of the exhaust of the planes. They mix up the JP7, JP8 biodiesel, which is toxic in itself, but they do different mixes. So even the contrails are chemtrails. And then you have the actual sprayer planes, the drones, the actual smaller cloud seeding planes. But then you got the bunker fuel out in the ocean by the ships. You got all the ground-based cloud ionizers, the NexRads. I mean, it's all working together, man. All right, let's go look at Florida, the upper part of Florida. You know, just like now they're coming out saying, oh, we're going to have to try this. But see, here's what happened. When you go back and look at the history of the weather modification, they said that once they started geoengineering, they can't stop. That was 60 years ago. They've been doing it at least for 60 years. And they say if they stop, we'd have a rapid like heating event on Earth, but I call BS on that, because just look back at 9/11. We had clear skies, and then you know, of course it got a little hotter during the day, but without the man-made cirrus clouds trapping it in, all that heat escaped at night, and it actually cooled down. I think it was 5 degrees more than normal. So it heated up like 3 or 4 degrees during the day, but it cooled down. I think it was 5, maybe it was 7 degrees at night. So, I mean, they all lie. We can't believe anything they say. It's just like, we got to try to figure it out ourselves. That's what I think. I think they should just stop. I think everybody should ban flying and make them stop. Everybody should be going to their licensing committee meetings when they talk about the weather modification programs. Make them stop. Defund them. Yeah, let's go down just a little bit. Yeah, that definitely got these guys pretty good. I don't know if that's the same one. Yeah, everything's a lie, man. Especially with all the human testing, all the tests they've done on us. You know, and then, you know, they all have money in the big pharma. They all have money in the pharmaceutical companies, the health industries. And that's how they make their money. They make their money on making us sick. You know, they don't eat the same foods as we do. They have like blood transfusions, and they do all kinds of weird stuff to clear themselves out. Wow, that's just crazy looking. I just want to check one thing. Let's check the RAM slider, see if it loads tonight. Yeah, they all drink, you know, baby blood, and they do all kinds of weird stuff, man. Why is that so dark? Oh, that's why. So let me just kind of zoom in. You know, eventually, you know, something's going to give. So let me put this on about every hour. That way we get a little bit of nighttime and daytime. This is some of the, you know, this is an awesome little satellite right here. I'm like, you can really zoom in and get a really good clear picture of this stuff. But man, it eats up so much data. Look at this plane right here. Did a U, kind of a U shape while you got a couple other ones going. It just, oh, I gotta slow that down. Here, let me just stop it, do one frame at a time. Now, there was a report of black chemtrails, and I forgot where it was. I think it was California. See, you can see the aerosols in the fire smoke right there. Yeah, that's the only thing about loading an hour at a time. It don't look. Yeah, they're still spraying out here. I think we got bunker fuel out there too. Heavy spraying over California. They were doing the segmented dumps, the little dumps. And like I said, this is like the rain retardant. They don't want it to rain, so they're spraying. It probably would be raining right now, but they're stopping it. Man, I wish we could go over and look at that operation. You know, that's weird. The only satellite that I can't get is over in the Middle East. If we had that. See, I can't get over to the Abu Dhabi desert thing over there. Let me see if I can get there for the Japan satellite. Yeah, there's like one view we do not get. Yeah, I don't think it'll get us over there. Yeah, because there's India. Yeah, there's one view that we just cannot get. All right, well, thanks. Yeah, I'll check into that. Here, I might be able to check it right now. Let me see if I can look. All right, so here's some pictures coming out of Santa Cruz. That's the wrong one. Let me see if I can get this right here. All right, so here's some pictures from the ground coming at us. Look, you guys would have had a beautiful blue sky there, and then they start mucking it up. Look at that. That's some bunker fuel. Completely washed out the sky. Look at that. And probably won't get one drop of rain. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know they're just not letting us see it. I don't know if it's some kind of political thing. But yeah, we're missing the Middle East view. They won't let us have it. I've been searching for that for years. I can get the fake cartoon looking stuff. Like you can go over to the tropical tidbits. And you go to the, let's see what they got in the way of satellite imagery. Eastern Atlantic, yeah. Last, see, you just can't get it. But if you go to the forecast models, we can actually get the forecast models. So that tells me that they have the satellite there, but they're just not going to give it to us. So like we'd want to look at Asia. And it's really hard to tell where that slot is with all these lines here. Just see what. Yeah, really, it's hard to tell where I'm at here. I could probably make a better graph and overlay it on this. Like I could probably overlay this into Google Earth or something. Let's go ahead and check the United States for the next 2 days here. Check out the bomb cyclone. Alright, so there's our bomb cyclone. And we called this out 2 weeks ago. We said the wind event, we said it's going to be flooding out the upper northeast. Said the same thing last Sunday, and there it is. It's right on time. Ooh, look at that. So we got some definite development down here in the Gulf of Mexico. It showed this, though, a couple weeks ago, but then it went away. I may have to go back and watch the 16-day forecast myself and see. Oh, Wyoming, yeah, Mike Decker got some black chemtrails. Yeah, I don't doubt that. Let's see what the Canadian model shows. You know, your meteorologist, your local guy, he'll show you the worst model. If, you know, whether it's the Canadian model or the European model, whatever model shows the worst devastation, that's what they show you. See, the Canadian model isn't showing near as bad as the GFS model. Here's the GFS on that tropical storm. So that one there, it's in the purples, you know, like 2 feet. And well, this one's in millimeters per hour right here. Still in the purple, 24 millimeters, whatever that works out to be. Look at this mini hurricane. That's like a mini hurricane down there in the Bajas. And then it just does a U-turn and dissipates. Yeah, they're going to keep blocking California. They don't want them to have any moisture whatsoever. Wow, so here's the total amounts of moisture in the next 2 weeks. You know, all that's got to do is shift up a little farther north. This is still showing the same as the 16-day forecast. And that one is too, just a little shift to the west. I mean, New York, Maine, you guys are in for quite a bit of rain here. This is inches. So you're looking at, you know, 10 inches of rain in some parts of the upper northeast, along with the wind. Anyway, guys, we're going to go ahead and call this show. I want to thank everybody out there that helps spread this information out. And trying to get people awake to this stuff, man. We're running out of time to make a stand. And food shortages coming soon. Polar vortex winds, all that stuff. Look how dry they're keeping this area. They're chemtrailing it right now, and that chemtrails are stopping the moisture. Anyway, guys, much love. We'll see you tomorrow night, God willing. Gonna play a song called Rise. I'll go jump on D Live, give away the treasure chest, and I'll come join you in chat a few minutes. We'll see if we can get this thing to work tonight. Much love. If I can get the mic to mute so I don't blast your ears out.